to beat him to the punch.
Good afternoon, everyone. This regular committee of the whole meeting is called to order at 4:01. Council would like to acknowledge the Yukluathot on whose traditional territories the District of Ucluelet operates. Audience members and delegates are advised that this proceeding is being video recorded and broadcast on YouTube and Zoom, which may store data on foreign servers. There is one late item. Has Council received that? May I have a motion to amend the agenda by adding the late item titled 2024 December 10th Ucluelet Aquarium Grant in Aid Additional Documentation and 2024 December 10th Ucluelet Aquarium Grant in Aid Budget under agenda item 5.1.16.
So moved.
Councillor Hoare moves.
I'll second.
Councillor Anderson seconds. All in favor? None opposed, and that carries. I don't have to look up at the screen for the first time in a really long time. Since we have 16 delegations today, I move that Section 18.3 of the Council Procedure Bylaw be suspended for the duration of this Committee of the Whole meeting to allow for 16 delegations at this meeting rather than 2. May I have a motion to adopt the agenda as amended?
So moved.
Councillor Anderson moves.
I'll second.
Councillor Hoare seconds. All in favor? None opposed. That carries. We have one report item this evening, which is 2025 grants in aid and in-kind contributions. This report will be presented by the Director of Community Services, Ms. Fortune.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll make this short and sweet. So today we're here to hear presentations from community groups regarding grants and aid applications.
Can you speak up or a little closer to the mic, maybe? Please.
Is that better? Okay, sorry. So today we're here to consider applications for grants and aid. Its presentations is what we'll be hearing today. Community groups, societies, and organizations that requested financial assistance or in-kind rental lease of facilities owned by the district. A subsequent meeting will have a final decision on the actual application. So today is not about decision making, it's about listening to what's in front of us, as well as looking at the eligibility requirements, which are in your packages as well, which I will summarize for you when we do the actual report. Just a reminder to the community groups, if you're applying, if you received funding from last year and you're applying for this year, you must have a report to me by February 28th of last year in order to be eligible for this year. So just a quick reminder to all. Does anyone have any procedural questions?
I think we've been through this process a few times.
Great, thank you.
All right, we have 16 grant in aid and in-kind contribution applications on the agenda. Each applicant will have an opportunity to present. Please limit your presentations to 5 minutes as we have a fairly packed agenda. We will hear from the in-kind contribution applicants first and then the grant in aid applicants. And we'll amend the order to allow one of the applicants to present first in order that they may attend another meeting. The representative from West Coast Community Resources Society is now invited to present their in-kind contribution request.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, how you doing?
I don't think
I don't think it's on.
Red, green, red, green.
Oh, there we go. Green
That's
is
better.
go.
Welcome, Lori.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Happy to be here. Thank you, Honorable Mayor and Council, for this opportunity to share a request for financial support. I always just like to start with our mission at West Coast Community Resources. I should introduce myself. So I'm Lori. I'm the Executive Director of West Coast Community Resources. Our mission is to empower and support all members of our communities to move beyond systemic barriers, violence, and abuse through the provision of safe shelter, education, and counseling services. And we're really grateful to be a tenant of the District of Ucluelet's facilities. So this year we're requesting again $5,000 for our in-kind to reduce our monthly rent. And just some highlights from the past year. So this space saw over 1,600 activities of individuals, which include 686 walk-ins, 532 kind of indirect text messages, emails, and then 261 for other partners. So we partner in this space with others. So our receptionist covers all of those areas. We're also requesting $750 for the main hall for our community outreach program to run the holiday luncheon. And this year we had over 200 people attend. We had a number of organizations that volunteered to prepare food, and it was really festive and really well attended. So we're requesting that again. Some other highlights from those programs and just from the organization that we have in the past year. So the core program also offers runs our weekly soup program. So on average, we provide weekly 37 bowls. So for the whole year, it was 1,788 bowls served in our community lunch, which it's pretty amazing. And that's mostly all volunteer run except for the main core person. This program also did 300 tax returns. Some other highlights. So from our transition house, we have 31 women in the last year, 9 children, and over 400 night stays, and an additional 121 individuals who were able to access our residential program. Our sexual assault response program, we rolled out our third-party reporting, which is anonymous reporting to the RCMP of sexual assault. We also completed our memorandum of understanding with Island Health, which just allows volunteers and our SARP coordinator to support individuals going through a forensic exam in our Tofino General Hospital, which is actually really huge. So we're excited about to actually roll out that program and just get the community aware of it. Our mental health counseling program provided over 1,500 direct clinical hours this last year. We also have a community living program, and that's supporting individuals that are differently abled in the community to have community inclusion. So, for instance, that program offered over 500 outings to the 5 individuals. And this program is also really instrumental in supporting our new social enterprise, which is called Ucluelet. Reuse It, and we call it URI for short. So we had our grand opening in August, and then in July, and then our grand opening in August. And this provides a much needed resource promoting circular economy, diverting waste from our local landfill. So we're really happy about that. We have certain things that are accepted and certain things that are not. And I gave everyone a summary of our annual report from this last year that you can just have a look. I actually have extra copies in the back for people in the audience. And this year we're going into our 2027-2031 strategic planning year. So I'm just going to be reaching out to leaders of all our communities, both the district's mayors and also the surrounding leaders of First Nations community, just to get input to really, this is a community organization, and I want to really hear from the community how we're meeting everyone's needs or not. So we will have some opportunity probably during our community lunches to fill out some surveys too if people are interested. So I'm just very grateful for all of the support for our funders and for our partnerships, and particularly with the district over the last year. And we presently have, we have actually 9 board members, which I'm really thrilled about. And we have 33 staff that provide all the service to over 7,000 community members in our region. So, So I'm, hoping that you guys will give our in-grant request again. Any questions?
Thanks, Lori. Any questions for Lori? Comments?
I got a quick question.
Councillor Anderson?
Thank you. That was a good presentation.
Awesome.
I was just going to ask quickly, and I know this might not have anything to do with you, but I was curious that the supportive housing at 1300 Peninsula, have you heard anything more on that? Are we taking another stab at that with the province?
Yeah, so we just got basically it's such a process with BC Housing. So we just got the approval to be on the list, which means now we're re-engaging. So we've got approved to be on BC Housing list of approved sites. And we're approved facility operator. So we've got approved to do that. So now we're just re-engaging with the district's department. What
Planning?
department's that?
Planning?
Planning department. Thank you. We're just re-engaging with them to re-engage with BC Housing around that and to just sort of see what our next steps forward, because we're really wanting to get that project running. And so yeah, so it's a little bit of progress. BC Housing moves very slow in their process, but we are hopeful.
And that project is pretty much ready to go. The plans are all done and everything, right?
Yeah.
And that was a 5-plex?
Yeah.
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 Great.
Yes.
Good news.
Yeah, it is actually really good news. And so it's just that next stage of I think it'll be that conversation, because I think it'll be that conversation between the district and BC Housing to decide what that looks like, because basically BC Housing likes to own the property. So it's if the district is comfortable with that kind of arrangement. So I think we're just starting to have those kind of discussions with the three of us.
Excellent. Good news. Yeah, all your programs sound really well attended, so much needed in the community.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, thank you for your presentation.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. And thank you for being flexible about letting me in early with everything.
No problem. The next in-kind application is from the Food Bank on the Edge. Is there a representative that would like to speak to that? Possibly on Zoom?
No representatives from that organization are on Zoom.
Okay, we'll put that one on hold. The next in-kind application is from the Girl Guides of Canada. I don't see Sika here. Is there someone online that would like to present?
There's no one online who would be presenting.
All right. The next in-kind application is from the Ucluelet and Area Childcare Society. All right. That person is leaving, not going to the mic.
Oh, that was Lori.
Yes. Okay. So is anyone online that would like to speak to the Ucluelet and Area Childcare Society?
No one from that society is online at this time.
Do the societies know that this meeting is happening?
Next person that goes to the mic gets all the money.
That's right. Okay, Barb, you get all the money apparently. Then the next in-kind application is from the Ucluelet and Area Historical Society. Welcome, Barb.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Barb Gudrunson, Ucluelet and Area Historical Society. Just wanted to thank you guys for last year's in-kind contribution of our meeting space. So we meet here monthly with the Historical Society to review our projects and ongoing projects that we're doing. So again, we're looking for meeting space throughout the year, and then use of the UAC Hall for the annual Mother's Day plant sale. We did have a few additional meetings that we paid for ourselves just because we had some strategic planning and things going on with some projects that we had to slot in, but very thankful for the space that we get to use here at the community center. Regarding the upcoming plant sale, if anyone's interested in assisting the Historical Society this year, it's the time to start now with planting some seeds or doing some cuttings. The Mother's Day plant sale is in May, of course. In February the 20th at 7 o'clock for Heritage Week, the Historical Society will be doing a presentation here. This year it is Pastimes in the Pastimes. So we did not name that. That came from Heritage BC. But yeah, there will be a fun slideshow with a few presentations that evening. And our next thing up will be our AGM is on April the 12th. And I think Shirley Martin, one of our directors, may be doing a presentation for us that day. But that wraps it up, and just thank you so much for our space here at the community center. We really appreciate it.
Great, thank you, Barb. Any questions or comments from council? How big is your board right now?
6.
That's pretty typical, I guess.
We had a couple extras, but yeah, we're 6.
And I've heard that you've sort of partnered with Tourism Ucluelet to put some displays in their office on Main Street.
Yes, we do have a display there right now. We've also had one at Sake Sushi for a while and a Japanese display there. So we've had different groups that come to us discussing. The archives team is always working hard. We have like engineering firms that will contact us about property in Ucluelet and asking for historical information on those. So the archive team are usually digging around for stuff like that too. And then as usual, we're getting ready for different presentations throughout the year, assisting if it's been Memorial Day or Yuki Days and just different events. And then we have our own projects on the side, trying to look at having a pop-up mini museum display. So just getting that documentation information together. Unfortunately, as you're aware, we don't have access to our office space at the moment. So we're on a bit of a standstill until we access that back a little bit too, but just doing what we can.
That's in the basement of the district office, right? Yeah. And I do enjoy the old photographs in the Westerly News every week. Those are great. Yeah. No other comments from council?
I got a quick
Oh,
question.
Councillor Anderson.
Sorry, I'm question guy. Was there anything happening with, I remember John presented at one point about having a Japanese history museum, and then we're looking at a piece of property for that. Did anything kind of materialize, or is that still on?
Yes, no, we are working on a project for a pavilion, Heritage Pavilion. It's just ongoing right now. So working with the planning department, we'll let you know when there's a breaking ground or anything like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
Yeah.
Cool, awesome.
Yeah, I sit on the Community Forest Board, and I know they were sourcing wood for that pavilion.
Yes, we're very lucky. Had major contributions on the wood department, and all our pieces have been fallen and taken off sites. We have it's going to be a historical Japanese build. I cannot explain how the things, you chisel it out and fit it together. Style of a build. Engineering, the site's been looked at, holes have been looked at, tested, samples tested. So we're just stepping, doing our steps, just as a big procedure.
Moving forward, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have an ETA for build?
Coming up, right now, we just pulled the wood in. It needs to dry and season, and then there'll be the foundation first, the cement pour and stuff like that before. Yeah.
So possibly this year sometime.
Possibly, yes. Hopefully.
Great. Well, thank you for your presentation.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And
guys.
apparently you get all the money.
I get all of it. Okay,
Yeah.
that right? Can I have that right?
That's Councillor
You said
Anderson
that.
said that, yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. The next in-kind application is from the Ucluelet Junior Canadian Rangers. Would a representative like to present? Hi, Bernie.
So, thank you for letting us use the UAC Hall again.
Just speak right into the mic, please.
Sorry. So, thank you for letting us use the UAC Hall again. And we've done quite a bit of helping out around the community this year. We helped the Tofino Legion. We went and did poppy sales this year, which we've never done before. So, that's a new thing for us. We have Laurie Charnell is no longer a ranger. We have Emily Coombs. So we've learning new approaches. And then we paired up with the RCMP on the Stuff the Cruiser, and the co-op supported us to run a barbecue at the same time. And those funds went to the food bank. And then we helped the food bank with their hampers again this year. So we're up to 10 JCRs.
And is that a good number for your
Yes, it
group?
is.
Do you, how do you advertise to get junior rangers?
Mostly word of mouth. And of course, if they see them, like we do Remembrance Day, we actually helped ANAF get things organized for that as well this year. And so it's just seeing us out in the public, and then the JCRs talking to their friends and bring friends.
And you're at Canada Day and the
Yeah.
Color Guard
Yeah.
and Yuki Day's booth.
Sometimes. Summer's a little harder to do because we have JCRs that go to camp, and then also those of us that are working may not be able to get away to supervise.
Right. Any questions for Bernie? Comments? Councillor Anderson?
What are the ages for the JCRs? Like
12 to 18.
12 to 18. Okay. I got a 7-year-old, but it's going to be a while.
Gotta wait a little bit.
But put the plug in now for
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Already selling it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for your presentation, Bernie.
Thank you.
The next in-kind application is from the Chamber of Commerce. Josh, welcome.
Mayor and Council, so just wanted to thank you for the facility usage for this last year. We were using that for our board meetings for the Chamber of Commerce. This year we have switched to virtual for our board meetings. So now our request is switching over to usage for the Economic Development Committee meetings that we're doing. Those are monthly meetings. And obviously that's, as everyone knows, that's a work that we're doing for the community. That's essentially a contribution agreement that we have with the district to be taking on that work and relieving the district from having to do that work themselves as well. So we have the one meeting a month for that. So we're asking for that to be taken care of. Essentially similar usage as we had covered this last year, but just switching that from the chamber over to the Economic Development Committee. And we're also asking for some flex meetings like that are not pre-scheduled meetings, just because we do have the need sometimes, like we had one already so far with the Economic Development Committee when we had a Blue Economy meeting that we did, that we needed sort of a last minute meeting place to use for that. So still having some ability to be able to have some flex meetings that we can do. I think I put in the application for 4 to 6. Even if we had it for 6, we might not be using that many, but we will be also having working groups and everything we'll be doing for some of the initiatives that are coming out of that committee. So having a little bit of flexibility on top of the one meeting a month that we have in there would be very beneficial. So, yeah, that's.
And is part of your ask for the rooms for the Van Isle 360, or is that a different application?
Oh, are we asking for that? Yeah.
So it's not part of this application.
I didn't put it in the application, but yeah, we'll throw that in there too. Like, no, that can't do that. No, that's fine. We
And there's also the Edge to Edge Marathon.
Well, the Edge to Edge Marathon, we partner with the district on that, so we don't have to add that to the. I got that cleared ahead of time already. That we did, yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So as far as the Van Isle 360 goes, Miss Fortune, is that part of their ask,
No
or
dice. That's a no dice.
or is that a
That would be
miss?
additional. They have not asked.
They have not asked for
No,
that yet.
That's correct.
Okay, because that is this year, I
It
believe.
is,
Yeah,
in June, yeah.
yeah.
That was my bad. I didn't put that in there.
That's okay, because 2 years ago everybody thought that was the last Van Isle,
Yeah.
and it's the sailing race around Vancouver Island.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's every 2 years. It alternates with the Vic Maui race.
It was
so
the only
yeah.
event that we could have pulled off with the highway closure because everybody was coming in by boat.
By boat, that's right. 2023, yeah.
So
Got it.
weirdly successful still. So yeah.
It was a great event.
Yeah.
Great. All right. Any questions for Josh? Comments? No. Okay, thank you for your presentation. The next in-kind application is from the Ucluelet Racket Sports Club. Is Penny Jones on the line?
No, she is not.
Okay. It's a bit of a pickle, oh dear. The next in-kind application is from the Pacific Rim Rotary Club. Kelly, are you prepared to speak to that one? Not really?
Hello, Mayor and Council. I'm Kelly Deacon, Pacific Rim Rotary Club, past president. We are asking in-kind donation of meeting space, which is every second Thursday of each month for 2 hours, as well as the main hall, the main hall and kitchen in March for the Chowder Chowdown. Which coincides with the Whale Festival. And the use of the UCC to sponsor and host the Pumpkins of the Mist, which is at the end of October. The regular meeting space helps the stability of the club and helps support our mission as the Rotary Club. That's about it.
Great. The last 2 years, the Pumpkins in the Mist has actually been at the community center instead of on the Wild Pacific Trail. Miss Fortune?
Yes, through the mayor, that is a joint project with the district as well, so there would be no charge for the use of that space.
Great. Good. Okay, any questions for Kelly? Do you have an incoming president yet?
No, actually we don't. We have a Rotary meeting coming up, and I believe it's going to determine whether the club continues or doesn't continue.
So you're short on members?
Yes, very short on members. And the members that we do have, it's a small group. I think there's 9, and nobody wants to fulfill the role of president.
So this is your chance to talk to the public about Rotary.
Yeah, well, I wasn't really prepared on the Rotary page today. I didn't actually think that it was me who was speaking on Rotary today. Yeah, I was prepared more for the Art Society. So I was kind of thrown off a little bit. Yeah, the Rotary Club, we're a small club. We're part of the bigger international Rotary. Rotary has millions of members worldwide. They do a lot of good, providing clean water, providing food, providing vaccinations in foreign countries. Our Rotary Club here is trying to focus on the community, what we can do for the community. And unfortunately, we've reached out to try and get more Tofino people involved and to get people from the outskirts involved, and it's just been an ongoing struggle, and it's like the same people all the time who are just a small core group trying to keep the club going.
And the disc golf course, that's completed now?
Yes, yeah.
Great.
Very well used too.
I've
So
heard
it's-
that, yeah.
Yeah, if you haven't got up there, it's a great opportunity to go up and throw a disc around and see what you could do.
Right.
Yeah.
I just found out there's different sizes of discs depending on the course and the basket. That was news to me.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. You learn something every day.
Yeah, they call them kind of like drivers, just like golf.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Great. Any questions for Kelly? No. I think you're up next as well for the Pacific Rim Art Society.
Okay. Didn't know whether I should go or stay or. Okay. Okay, so once again, I'm Kelly Deacon. I'm the Executive Director for the Pacific Rim Art Society. And we would like to thank the District and Rec Commission for granting us the use of the hall for Missoula. Missoula performance this year was really well attended. 65 children participated, and both of the shows were sold out. So that was really a good event. And all the parents of children who have never been in Missoula were very thrilled at how quickly the kids learned, because they learn in 1 week. Basically 5 days, they learn how to perform a play, and then they go up and do it in front of the public. So that's pretty awesome. So our request this year is, I guess I should start with the in-kind request. Sorry, it's been a long day. Oh, that Missoula was our in-kind request. We had to brought it forward to council at the previous committee of the whole meeting because it wasn't on the application, because applications don't get approved until Missoula's over.
Right, I was looking over your application and it was a timing issue.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, because Missoula's always in January and the grant applications aren't until March.
So this in-kind is for next January, this in-kind request?
No, that was for this January. We'd have to do a new one this year for next year. But next year at Missoula's in Tofino. So it's a little convoluted, but just on timing.
Okay, Ms. Fortune, can you explain that one?
Yes, through the mayor, it is approval of allowing that to, Missoula has occurred, and so it's up to you guys to decide whether you'll allow them to have that as an in-kind contribution, or that we in turn invoice them for that.
For this past January?
That's correct.
Oh, okay. Thanks for explaining that, because I thought you were asking for next January, but
No.
it's for what
yeah,
just happened.
that what just happened.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. Any questions for Kelly about Praz?
Well, I got a quick one.
Councillor Anderson?
Are there any art shows coming up down at the PRAS, at the building?
Orange Door?
The Orange Door?
Yeah, there's the life drawing class is opening an art show this Sunday is the opening from 4 till 7, and that will go for the month of February.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it was postponed due to the snow.
The opening, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
I was looking
opening.
forward to going last Sunday.
Yeah,
and-
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one to tie in with Valentine's Day, actually.
yeah, absolutely.
Totally, yeah.
Great. I'll see you there.
Am I supposed to do the other grant application? Presentation or
we don't
just the
call. Yeah, we
in-kind?
don't call you up twice. So go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so our grant application request for this year, we've asked to be split between Summer Festival and Cultural Heritage Festival, because those are our two main festivals, and those are the two that we don't get federal funding for any of those if we don't have municipal funding. I know I've brought that up to you guys before, and that's basically in their rules. They say if you do not have any municipal funding, then we will not give you any funding. So it doesn't matter to them whether it's like $100 or $3,000. It's they need to know that we're being supported by the municipality.
And is it matching funding or just funding in general?
Funding in general. Yeah.
And so that was for the summer festival and
The Cultural Heritage Festival. So the Summer Festival has been going on for 40 plus years, and it highlights local, provincial, and Canadian arts, highlighting musicians and performers. In the past 2 years, we've partnered with the Break Cafe and Bistro to do an outdoor concert in Ucluelet, because Initially, the Art Society only did an outdoor concert in Tofino. And so a lot of people came to us and requested, could we not do one in Ucluelet as well? And once the Break Cafe and Bistro was on board with us, it was much easier to be able to bring that to life. So the summer festival is basically to highlight musicians and performers, and that's when we introduced the Arts and Culture Walk, which we do along the Wild Pacific Trail. And that's been very popular since we've done that. We still do have the outdoor concert in Tofino at the end of the summer festival, and that's where the Battle of the Bands winner gets to perform along with other musicians. And this year, the Battle of the Bands winners was the Butter Tart Syndicate. That's a really unique name, but they were very good and it was a lot of fun. And also Ballet Victoria has reached out to us and asked if they could come back again this year because they've been coming for, I think, about the past 5 years now. And they just really like to perform here. So that's pretty awesome. The Cultural Heritage Festival this year is celebrating 55 years of Praz. So over the past many years with the Cultural Heritage Festival, each year we celebrate a different theme. So last year was the hatchery life with the Thornton Creek Hatchery. We've done fishing on the West Coast, surfing on the West Coast, women of the West Coast, Japanese life, Nuchalnis life. So this year we would want to bring an element of all of those cultural heritage festivals into one, as well as we're going to try and locate as many of the founding members that we can find, and they will be invited to attend each event as a complimentary event for them to attend. And yeah, so I think that's about it for me.
Great. Well, that 50 years of Praz sounds like it'll be a great event to showcase.
55, yeah. 55
Oh,
years.
55. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what month does that happen in?
September.
Great. Looking forward to that.
Thank you.
And Praz has a fairly healthy board of directors right now?
We have 8 members, which is great. That's the biggest board of directors we've had in about 5 years.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I went to your AGM. It was well attended as well.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Any questions for Kelly about Praz? No?
Good.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is an in-kind and grant-in-aid application from the Pacific Rim Whale Festival Society. Is Sarah on Zoom?
No one from that society is on Zoom.
All right. Next is a grant-in-aid application from the Clayoquot Biosphere Trust. Would anyone like to present for the CBT? Anyone on Zoom?
No, they are not attending on Zoom either.
Next is a grant-in-aid application from Pacific Rim Hospice Society. Is Tarni on Zoom? Awesome.
Hello, I see your hand is raised. I'm going to promote you. One moment.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can. Welcome, Tarni.
Thank you so much for having me today and allowing us all time to speak. So my name is Tarni Jacobson. I'm the Executive Director for Pacific Rim Hospice Society. And I'm here today to ask for $4,000 to pay for our clinical counselor, Jen Scott, who works with youth in the region. And her wage is approximately about a $60,000 wage. So $4,000 is our ask today. So a little bit about Pacific Rim Hospice Society. We enhance the quality of life for individuals and families in the Pacific Rim region during illness, injury, death, and grief through education and compassionate care. We also run the Pacific Rim Better at Home program. So that is a program regionally for anyone 55 years and over. It's non-medical home supports that keep folks in their homes longer, happier, healthier. So we do things like help with transportation to medical and social programs. We do housekeeping. We provide a warm meal program that we're looking to expand. We have a social meal program that we help elders luncheons in the region. We also give out co-op grocery gift cards to those in greatest need. So we also, I should just say this because it's pretty exciting, we're looking to start a caregiver support program in partnership with Forest Glen and the Seaview Seniors Housing Society. So we've just recently been accepted by United Way BC to put in an application. So our letter of interest was accepted. So this is pretty exciting. Hopefully, you know, as you probably know, that caregiving is the hardest job of all. You know, lots of folks here, we wouldn't be here unless, you know, their loved ones were taking care of them. So I'm really excited about that program, and hopefully we can come back and talk again about it. But we're looking at caregiver support groups, day programs, that kind of thing to help give some respite for the caregivers and for their loved ones. So today, back to our register or our clinical counselor, Jen. So we put on our application, we would like to provide our Peer Ed program, which is a 7-week program. It focuses on youth, grades 9 through grade 12 at Ucluelet Secondary School. We're offering it, it's a 7-week program after spring break, so it'll be Tuesdays after school. And basically it's a program for teaching peers, teaching youth how to support their peers, because we know youth go to their friends when they're facing challenging situations. So ideally our counselor will work with a partner, a facilitator. It has been Tony Buston in the past, but who knows exactly who it will be this time, but at the Ucluelet Community Center. And it's teaching things like resiliency skills, how to identify emotions and feelings, how to help a friend if they're struggling, what healthy relationships look like. Yeah, those kinds of things. Anyway, so we're looking to do a 7-week program in the spring, and then we'll also do another one in the kind of late fall, early winter. So our counselor works one-on-one with youth, 13 to approximately 21. There's a bit of wiggle room there. She started in September. We've been looking for a counselor for a long time, and she's from Hornby Island, but she also has contacts in Ucluelet. So she's now living in Ucluelet. She spends 1 day a week at the Ucluelet High School. When she first started in September, it was a lot of trust building and relationship building. So she's, you know, been around for a few months now, and she works with the outdoor program, you know, with some of the youth at the school, chopping wood and doing some other really cool things. She works one-on-one counseling, which is primarily what she does. And then the peer ed groups. So she also works in classrooms too, as needed. She also works up in a house it 1 day a week. And then she's got a lot of flexibility for those who are not attending school or, you know, just needing some support. So I think that's it for me. Yeah, happy to answer any questions if you have any for me, but thanks for considering our request.
Thank you, Tarni. Just a quick question from me. You said it was for youth grades 9 to 12. Just wondering why grade 8s aren't included in that.
Yeah, it's sort of a funny one too. We've tried different things over the years. So Tara Such was our previous registered clinical counselor, and she found that ideally the older ages are perhaps more receptive to this program. It's like a leadership kind of program as well, but we are open at this point. Right now, we're going to aim the first one between grades 9 and grade 12. And I think because it's a new position, new person, I think we're kind of see who wants to attend. Ideally, there's going to be approximately 10 youth in each program that we do. Yeah. And then so also she can support anyone 13. So grade 8s through grade 12s plus. So
great, thank you.
I'm going to try anyway.
Great. Questions for Tarni? No, well, thank you for your presentation. That was great.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you for the work you do.
Thank you.
The next grant and aid application is from the Rain Coast Education Society. Welcome.
right. Hi, everybody. My name is Michaela. I'm the Ucluelet Field School coordinator.
And my name is Derek. I'm the Tofino Field School coordinator.
So we're with the Rain Coast Education Society. It is a community-based nonprofit. We were funded in 2000, so we've been around for about 25 years now. Derek and I are field school coordinators. Field schools are one of our main programs. I work down here in Ucluelet with the elementary school, and Derek's up in Tofino. So both of these are full-time positions. We have it so that ideally every single elementary school kid in Yuki and Tofino is getting one field school, which is a field trip, ideally once a month. Every month for the whole school year. We have spring camps as well and summer camps. We provide science-based outdoor experiential learning. Today I was just at Big Beach with a group of grade 1s and 2s. We're at the school a couple times every week. We kind of get between 150 to 200 field trips and activities throughout the year.
As an additional bonus, we have access to a bus, which we offer free of charge to the schools. Such as today, was able to take the kids out to the rainforest loops in the Pacific Rim National Park to get some of these kids who otherwise might not get into the park in some of these places.
And today I was speaking to a teacher who said because of the numbers of kids in the classrooms and just the numbers of education assistants at the school as well, without the field school coordinators coming in, they're not able to take such large groups off school grounds. So we facilitate a lot of super fun field trips. The kids have a great time, rain or shine. It's really valuable work, I think, in my opinion. Our budget is about $150,000 a year. $100,000 of that is community-based, and we come up with about $50,000 on our own throughout the year through grants. Today, we are asking for 7% of our annual budget, which is about $10,000. We do what we do free of charge from the school, so there's no charge for the parents or the teachers or the students whatsoever, and we definitely try to keep it that way. Our programming meets BC curriculum requirements as well as the board's own priorities for what they want to see and what they think is important in the school. And yeah, I mean, I think kids take care of what they know and what they understand, so I'm pretty new to this position, and it's just been a really, really wonderful experience. I think it's so valuable to the kids. I wish I had something like that growing up, especially in such a beautiful area. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find other places in BC and in Canada that have such a rich wealth of knowledge kind of at their fingertips, bring them right out into their backyard. So, yeah.
Great, thank you. And I know this question has come up before, but why does SD70 not contribute financially?
I think it's a liability thing. They told us they can't condone the program, but they are all for it happening.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Any questions for Michaela and Derek?
I do.
Councillor Anderson?
Yeah, I'm a fan of the program for sure. My son loves it. I'm just wondering, with the Rain Coast Education Society, I mean, I should know this. I should ask Mark this, but do they exist elsewhere? Like, what do other schools have? Like, whether it's, elsewhere in BC or in Canada, because it seems like such a good program to have. Like, and it's just, is it just you guys out here, or are there like analogous programs to Rain Coast Education in like Kelowna and things like that, or is it just you guys that you know of?
To the best of my own knowledge, I think it's quite a unique program. One person we interviewed earlier was talking about a similar kind of program in, I think it was Revelstoke, but I failed to look into that. So maybe there's something going on, but yeah.
We also have, we get groups. I think we do some partnerships with in Bamfield. We have groups that come in. We have a group coming in next week from Victoria. When they come to the area, they can reach out to us for like a guided walk or field trips or that kind of stuff, spring camps, summer activities. But Raincoast specifically is just Ucluelet and Tofino.
Ah, interesting. Well, thank you.
And I think you partner with the Whale Festival for some events, don't you? As well as the aquarium and
Yeah.
Wild Pacific Trail.
Yeah, lots of local partnerships. and
Partnerships,
stuff.
yeah, that's great. All right, well, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
The next grant in aid application is from the Redfish Restoration Society. A spelling mistake. Anyway, is anybody online? Is Mandela online?
No one from that society is online.
Okay, and last but not least, the next grant in aid application is from the Ucluelet Aquarium Society. Welcome, Laura.
Hello, everyone. I'm Laura Griffith Cochran. I'm the Executive Director of the Ucluelet Aquarium Society, and we're asking for funding to support an affordability project that we're going to do this year. So as we've been growing, we want to make sure that we maintain the Ucluelet Aquarium as a community space. And so we're looking for funding to support reduced costs for seniors, for local school groups, and for the daycares. So outlined in the grant would be funding to create a corporate pass for all of the daycares in the area. So that way they can go in for free. Last year we had somebody that donated a pass for Little Beans. We want to make sure that that is available for all of the daycares in the area. So in Hitatsu, and then there's a number of daycares that are both, in Ucluelet. We'd like to do, reduced costs for a number of the school class that come into the aquarium so that they can come in more often and really use the aquarium as an add-on to a learning space. And then we also did a couple of presentations last year with the senior center with Forest Glen, and that was received very well. And so we'd like to create a season's pass for each one of the seniors there. And we know that many of them are on fixed incomes. There's a couple of add-ons in there as well. A couple of things that, as our building ages, need a bit of attention. So we want to fix our lighting outside. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Questions for Laura? Councillor Anderson?
You mentioned it.
You told some stories there this year, didn't you?
I didn't. I wanted to, but I was too late, and it filled up, so I didn't.
We would love to do that program again.
Yeah.
So I might ask everybody to come and read a story.
Throw me on the list.
Everybody.
I tried to do it, and it filled up so quickly that there wasn't a space left.
Wow.
But my question was, you had mentioned that somebody donated a pass for the Little Beans, and you're looking at potentially people donating for the other daycares or getting funding for that. What does that cost? So whoever donated for Little Beans, for example, roughly what's the cost on that?
It's $100.
That's for the whole daycare. And would all daycares be that, or would it depend on how many?
It'd be the same. So we are asking for 5 passes for the 5 daycare groups.
Okay. Excellent. Great. Thanks.
Councillor Hoare?
You didn't mention it, but it's in your grant and aid budget is the new Chalmouth language classes.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Yes. And there's also funding where we'd like to do Morna Chalmouth language classes in the Ucluelet Aquarium. We worked with Geneva last year, and we were sending our staff to learn Nachalnath in Hitatsu. And then we also had a staff member that was working on some Nachalnath language within the Ucluelet Aquarium. And we would like to bring in more of the community to make that language learning more accessible, so that everybody can work on pronunciation of street names, using it in just regular everyday life. And also so that it can be more of a place for children to come in and practice because they're taking Nachalnath in school, and for any Nachalnath speakers to come in and have a place where they can practice. Just make it more of an accessible language to be used more frequently.
Great, good to know. Any other questions for Laura? No? Oh, thank you for your presentation. So I think I'll circle back to the ones that we haven't heard from. I don't have that on my list. But please go up to the mic.
Through the mayor?
Yes?
I don't think we've got an application.
Can you speak up, please?
No application?
Sorry, through the mayor, I don't think we received an application.
I have an application, and I don't have to speak to it. I did not prepare the application, but I was asked to come today to support it.
Do you have something in writing? Oh, you have your laptop there.
I've got my laptop, yeah, and I have the application. I could email it right now. Who should I? Or I could read it. I don't know if that's helpful. If it would even be eligible at this point, I guess would be the question.
Well, why don't you go ahead and tell us what's on it?
Yeah, I'd love to tell you about it.
Okay, go ahead.
My name is Julia Taff, and I'm a resident of Ucluelet, and I am a board member of the West Coast Multiplex Society. I've been a board member for the last year, and so I'm new. And the process is something that I haven't done before, so please bear with me with the presentation. We're applying today. I know you're all familiar with the West Coast Multiplex Society because you provided a letter of support for us for our green grant to the federal government. So thank you for that. The West Coast Multiplex Society has 11 board members. We've got some Ucluelet residents, Tofino residents, also Tloquia and Howsett residents. And that's really important because the goal of the West Coast Multiplex Society is to build an arena and a swimming pool out at Long Beach, which infrastructure will help support the entire region. So the grant that we're applying for now is one of a slew of grants that have been written in the last year, including that very big Green Infrastructure Fund grant. We were seeking support from the District of Ucluelet Grant in Aid, specifically because we need to engage with an engineering team to complete an engineering modeling study. The results of the study will determine the most cost-efficient strategies to build a net energy zero multiplex facility. This will in turn lower the operating costs and reduce the operating deficits borne by the taxpayers on the West Coast. The total cost of the energy modeling study is $20,000 plus GST. We're also applying, we've submitted an application to the District of Tofino Council grants and to the ACRD Grant and Aid as well to make up the balance of the required funds. Because the results of the study will have a positive impact on all the taxpayers of the West Coast. So the amount that we're requesting from the District of Ucluelet is $6,150. I just wanted to add a little quote from a letter of support. We got many letters of support, I believe 50 or more letters of support for our Green Infrastructure Grant. One of them came from Gord Johns, and he summarized it really nicely when he said, a health and wellness facility is much needed for this region, which includes the district governments of Tofino and Ucluelet and the territories of the Howsett, Heshkwit, Tlilquit, Toquat, and the Ucluithit. In addition to providing preventative healthcare services, which will lower healthcare and criminal justice costs, it will also diversify the economy, create jobs, support water safety, and contribute to emergency preparedness. The population of our region is rapidly growing, but its infrastructure is lagging behind significantly. The society is entirely run by volunteers. We don't have any staff, so we are as efficient as we possibly can be with all the money. It's a very big goal to accomplish. We feel very close, and we still have a lot of small pieces to put together to make sure it's done right and make sure that that we're bringing diversity in the iterative information gathering and decision-making process to ensure that our work continues to reflect the evolving needs, the available resources of the community. Reaching out and having multiple funding sources allows us to deepen our engagement, gather more data, amplify the voices of people with lived and living experience, and form strategic partnerships to create sustainable, positive social impact. Sorry, I just have one more document I wanted to pull from here. Does anyone have any questions while I'm a little bit lost?
Any questions for Julia? Councillor Anderson?
I have a question. If does having athletes that are actually going into the Olympics now from Tofino, does that put you in a better spot for any type of funding for the multiplex down the road? Is there anything being offered in that regard? Because I know now that we have some surfers that are serious contenders, I wonder if there's access to some other funds out there nationally.
It's interesting because I was just reading an article today about Olympians being underfunded. There's funding challenges everywhere. But yes, I would think so. I'm not an expert and I have not done a study, but I do know that the fact that we have such high-level surfers coming out of our community right now, the multiplex has already talked about in terms of that diversification, having a surf excellence center that would also be part of the facility. And you know, I lived in Whistler at the time when they built their recreation complex there, and they were getting also the benefit of the arena to Whistler was having a training season for the NHL in there, you know, so having that type of access for motivation and also, you know, to help support the operating costs of the organization. You know, I'm very interested, you know, I'm an artist, I'm a dancer, and so for me to have that kind of facility here is really important. Physical training is, you know, it's such a good part of healthy growing up. And also, I mean, just speaking personally now, the reason I was drawn to the multiplex is I really like where it's located, the fact that it's close to the Tlilquit community and between Tofino and Ucluelet as well. Now that we have the multi-use path and we have transit coming in, it feels like all these pieces are coming together. So personally, I'm very excited about it, and that's why I wanted to be on this board. And I really hope that, I know we can count on your support. Thank you again so much for that letter of support. And, you know, anything you can do to help and anything we can do to help you as well, you know, our doors are definitely open, and we're excited, really excited. Especially the green component is really important, right? So to be able to tie that into, you know, net zero energy and lowering costs for taxpayers, I mean, it's just a win all around there.
And do you know when the results of that grant application will be determined?
The Green Infrastructure Grants Fund, I believe the timeline that was submitted in the fall, and the timeline is something like 20 weeks. So I don't know exactly, but my understanding is we would know by the summer.
Okay. because I know your application to the ACRD has come up in our budget process, and we were hoping to know the results of your grant application before determining if the ACRD was matching funds or helping in some way.
I will pass that on to our president, Samantha, and get an exact answer for you so that we can follow up with that.
Okay, great.
Yeah, In terms of this energy study, the project it's estimated to be completed within 8 months from gathering data on the West Coast, performing analysis, generating a report with recommended strategies, and incorporating the strategies into the design of the facility going forward.
Excellent. And Ms. Fortune, you will look to see where that application ended up.
Sure, I can.
And any questions for Julia in the meantime? No. You have Ariosa, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. I'm also the artistic director of Ariosa Dance Society. And we call Ucluelet our second home because the company was founded in Vancouver, and the professional dance artists are based there mainly. But I have worked with Ucluelet dancers in the past. I've worked with Lindsay Morrison and Miranda Oliwa, who were apprentices with my company and had the chance to dance in the trees with us. We're actually going to be collaborating with Pacific Rim Art Society in the fall to create some solo performances in the trees. And I haven't had a chance yet to come to Ucluelet Parks and Rec and actually see about getting a permit to see if there's any local locations in town that we could use. So we have a site we've been using in Tofino for many years, and we have safety plans and emergency plan and special event plan and all those things in order. So yeah, we'll be coming to see if we can actually bring the work right here.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I recognized your name right away.
Thanks.
Okay, if there are no other questions, I'm going to circle back now to the ones that have not presented. Do we have Chris Martin from the Food Bank online?
I can make this a little easier. The only online applicant is Pacific Rim Hospice Society, who has already presented. So
okay,
we did get apologies from the Clayoquot Biosphere Trust. They did email me and let me know that they got stuck in Victoria and won't be available until after 5:30.
Okay, I'm just surprised at some of them that aren't presenting, that normally always do. But okay. So I guess that brings us to the end of our presenters. So I will call the February 6, 2025 Committee of the Whole meeting adjourned at 5:08. And thank you all for coming.